Hi everybody. Let's talk about inventory and Chapter 8. Inventory refers to assets a company owns and intends to sell in the normal course of business. Cost of goods sold is the expense related to inventory that has been sold. Wholesale and retail companies purchase goods that are primarily in finished form. These companies are intermediaries in the process of moving goods from the manufacturer to the end user. They often are referred to as merchandising companies, and their inventory is referred to as merchandising inventory. The cost of merchandising inventory includes the purchase price plus any other cost necessary to get the goods in condition and location for sale. Unlike merchandising companies, manufacturing companies produce the goods they sell to wholesalers, retailers, other manufacturers, or consumers. Inventory for a manufacturer consists of raw materials, work in process, and finished goods. Raw materials represent the cost of components purchased from suppliers that will become part of the finished product. For example, Hewlett-Packard's raw material inventory includes semiconductors, circuit boards, plastic, and glass that go into the production of personal computers. Work in process inventory refers to the products that have begun the manufacturing process but are not yet complete. The cost of work in process includes cost of raw materials used in production, the cost of labor that can be directly traced to goods in process, and an allocated portion of other manufacturing costs called manufacturing overhead. Overhead costs include electricity and other utility costs to operate the manufacturing facility, depreciation of manufacturing equipment, and many other indirect manufacturing costs that cannot be directly linked to the production of specific goods. Finished goods are goods that have completed the manufacturing process, but have not yet been sold. They have reached their final stage and now await sale to a customer. Their cost includes the cost of all raw materials and work in process used in production. Manufacturing companies generally disclose, either in a footnote or directly on the balance sheet, the dollar amount of each category inventory category. For example, Intel, one of the largest semiconductor chip manufacturers, reports inventory of raw materials, work in process, and finished goods, as shown in this example. The inventory accounts and cost flows for a typical manufacturing company are shown using T accounts in this illustration. The cost of raw materials used, direct labor applied, and manufacturing overhead applied flow into work in process and then into finished goods. When the goods are sold, the cost of those goods flow from inventory of finished goods to cost of goods sold. We focus in this textbook primarily on merchandising companies, wholesalers, and retailers. Still, most of the accounting principles and procedures discussed here also apply to manufacturing companies. The unique problems involved with accumulating the cost of raw materials and labor and with allocating manufacturing overhead are addressed in managerial and cost accounting classes. Two accounting systems are used to record transactions involving inventory: the Perpetual Inventory System and the Periodic Inventory System. The Perpetual System was introduced to you in Accounting 301 and reviewed in Chapter 2 of this textbook. The system is aptly termed perpetual because the inventory account continually is adjusted for each change in inventory, whether it's caused by a purchase, a sale, or a return of inventory. In addition, the cost of goods sold account is adjusted each time goods are sold or are returned by a customer. An important feature of the Perpetual Inventory System is that it is designed to track inventory quantities from their acquisition to their sale. If the system is accurate, it allows management to determine how many goods are on hand on any date without having to take a physical count. However, physical counts of inventory usually are made anyway, either at the end of the fiscal year or on a sample basis throughout the year, in order to verify that Perpetual Inventory System is correctly tracking quantities. Differences between quantity of inventory determined by the physical count and the quantity of inventory according to the Perpetual System could be caused by system errors, theft, breakage, obsolescence, or spoilage. In addition to keeping up with inventory purchases, a Perpetual System also directly determines how many items are sold during a period. When a company uses a Perpetual Inventory System to record inventory and cost of goods sold transactions, merchandise cost data is also included in the system. That way, when merchandise is purchased or sold, the system records not only the addition or reduction in inventory quantity, but also the addition or reduction in inventory cost. For example, Lothridge Wholesale Beverage Company purchases soft drinks from producers and sells them to retailers. The company begins 2021 with inventory on hand of $120,000. The following information relates to inventory transactions during 2021. Additional soft drink inventory is purchased on account at a cost of $600,000. Sales for the year, all on account, totaled $820,000. The cost of soft drink inventory sold is $540,000. Lothridge uses the Perpetual Inventory System to keep track of both inventory quantities and inventory costs. The system indicates that the cost of inventory on hand at the end of the year is $180,000. Let's look at the journal entries. To record the purchase of inventory, Lothridge debited inventory and credited accounts payable for $600,000. Of course, these are summary journal entries. To record the sales on account, Lothridge debited accounts receivable and credited sales revenue for $820,000. And to record the cost of sales, Lothridge debited cost of goods sold and credited inventory for $540,000. Well, that's all for this video. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Perpetual Inventory System, and we'll also talk about the Periodic Inventory System. See you next time.